Hello everybody, this is me, Patrick Stockhausen here. Welcome to the session known as the Sunday Insiders. In tonight's session, we're going to discuss two things. In tonight's session, we're going to discuss to win the financial markets game, you only need two things. And that is it. And if you get these two things right, you win the game. But most people make the game more complex. Most people make it more complex than it really is. And the reason is because we think, and it's not your fault, but here's what most people think. If I have to work X amount of time, if I have to work, let's say, for example, 10 hours to make $100, we then unconsciously think, well, therefore, to make $200, we have to work 20 hours. So we do a multiple, rather than realizing that it is about a game of leverage. Because you could work the exact same, but use something called leverage. Most people are familiar with the forms of leverage, from futures, options, forex, things like that. But they're not familiar with the concept of leveraging themselves, other people's skills, abilities, time, and resources. And that is how you win this game, by understanding leverage. And we'll be discussing that in this seminar. But in order for you to win this game, you need to know two things. You need to know what to do and when to do it, is one. Even if that looks like two, it's one. And the second thing is the psychology to do it consistently. If you knew what to do and when to do it, and had the psychology to do it consistently, you would be having a completely different financial future. So that's what this session is all about. Because in today's session, I'm going to show you a high probability entry signal on the S&P index based on wealth building opportunities in stages 2 and 4, which, as I've talked about throughout this whole entire series. And I'm going to show you something, how to transform your self-perception, how to transform how you perceive yourself in a way that enables you to start doing new, rich, wealth-building behaviors. And we can sum both of these things up, the entry signal and the behavior thing, by this graph. This graph here is the main theme of tonight. Forget the fact that it's some mathematical thing, standard deviation and all those things like that. I'm going to explain this to you in such a way that will make so much difference to you. You'll understand how this graph here will make you rich. And that's what this session is about. So, let's begin. Now, technical analysis is about finding technical trades with the odds in your favor. That is what technical analysis is about. Technical analysis is not about knowing exactly what is going to happen next. It's about putting the odds in your favor over a series of trades. Nobody knows exactly what's going to happen on this trade. Professional traders and investors think in terms of probabilities. So understand this. 80 to 95% of the time, the markets are chopping. And they do not offer you, me, generally most people, an easy, simple money-making opportunity. And we discussed those when I said that Jim Rogers says he likes to see money on the floor, he likes to walk across, pick it up, and walk back off again. He said he waits for those clear, simple things. Your job is to wait for those. Those are the 5% great opportunities where you stand the best chance of making many multiples of your risk. Okay? Other than that, the market is chopping. Now, if you can do that, you'll create a positive expectancy system. When these 5% opportunities are not present, your sole job is to be on the sideline, watching and waiting for your opportunity. Stalking, sitting, waiting is a key skill to mastering the financial markets. In fact, it's a key skill to many things in life. It is, as we talked about the marshmallow experiment, the person that couldn't sit and wait versus the people that could. Sitting and waiting is a skill that will make you rich. Successful trading is about exploiting the 5% opportunities and avoiding the noise. So, here's what we're going to talk about first, because this is what most people want all the time. I ask people, I said, what is it? What is the one thing that you would like me to discuss more than anything? And I got many requests for this, despite the fact I talk about these things, about why you shouldn't necessarily want this. But you know what? who am I not to give people what they want if I know the answer? So I'm going to talk about our super high probability S&P 500 index entry signal, okay? Now, you could apply this on different markets, but I'm just going to say I've tested this on the S&P for you, okay? Now, please note, as you can see at the bottom, I said a super high probability entry signal is as important to trading success as a great chat-up line is important to getting and keeping an amazing girlfriend. Just generally men that do chat-up lines, okay? Right, so your wealth building opportunity, your best wealth building opportunity is in a stage 2 and a stage 4. That is it. I personally like to stay out of stages 1 and 3. Can you make money in that? Yeah, sure. If you understand options, you can do some sort of sideways strategies. You can do some sort of premium collection strategies in those. They work really well. I love premium collection. But to build massive capital, vast wealth, and this is statistically, and we've shown you this in the first session, stages 2 and stages 4 are the stages primarily responsible for where most people made the most amount of money and the biggest vast wealth. There's something called MOBA, right? Which was basically the application of standard deviation bands, Bollinger Bands, applied to price charts to give us simple long and short signals. Now, if you set Bollinger Bands how they're traditionally set, it doesn't work how this does. And I'll show it you. Now, all the MOBA is, or momentum breakout charts are, is what David studied was, his study suggested that and he said that markets, and as I said at the beginning, that markets have periods where they're in chop or there's noise and it's trendless. That is where you need to be out the market, right? Now, you can enhance this by looking at your stage 4 in the bigger time frame as well, so you know what's really going on the bigger picture. And then by setting and adjusting standard deviation bands, your Bollinger Bands, to 0.8 standard deviations, the study has momentum breakouts above the bands for positive up moves and momentum breakdowns, short in or put options below the bands, and it gives us sets of signals. This works in all time frames, all periods, tick charts, value charts, volume charts, whatever you're looking at, okay? Now, by narrowing the bands, here's what David did. He simply, here we had breakout. So if this was above, the price was going up, imagine this is up. If it was above these bands, he recognized this was a buy signal. And if it went below, that was a, well, sorry, he's got it upside down. Well, I've got it upside down, right? So this here was a shorting signal, and this was a buying signal. And I'll show you clearly on this next chart. So here, this was the Bollinger Bands narrowed to 0.8 standard deviation. And the price is above, and it says we've got momentum breaking out above. The price goes below, momentum breaking down, going long, momentum breaking up. Now, if your main time frame was in a stage 2 going up, you would not take this trade here. You'd only be looking at this. If this was your entry time frame, you would only be looking at long, because the master time frame, let's say the monthly was saying we're in a stage 2. Here we can see in a stage 2 in the master time frame. So let's imagine the monthly was in a stage 2 going up, correct? Then we have our weekly chart, and all we're going to do on the weekly chart is the following thing. If it, right, let's say the price is above the MOBO bands, it pulls back to the reverse side. It pulls back to the reverse side of the Bollinger Band. So we have the upper side and the lower. So let's call that reverse. It touches the reverse, and then 3 close outside the MOBO bands. We get a close outside the MOBO bands, bam, go long. Now, I have tested this back to 1963, from 1963 all the way back to today. Now, please understand, this does not, I've not said where your stop is, because this is just a pure entry signal, okay? I've just said, I've sort of a setup. I've said it's on the stage 2 on the main time frame. It's pulled back, and then it's pulled back, touched the reverse, and then it's closed outside. Because somebody said to me last week, can you just give me an entry signal so I know from the right-hand side of my chart? So it pulls back, touches it, and then closes above it. Now, you can see you have weeks sometimes, weeks and weeks and weeks of this. I haven't said how to manage the trade. I haven't told you how to take the profit. I haven't said how to exit or anything like that. This is the pure entry signal. Now, if you go back, as far as your charts will go back on the S&P, and you test this, making sure the monthly time frame is in the stage 2 and the weekly is aligned and it pulls back to there, you will see that does it work every single time? No. Okay? Not at all. Are your winners very often much larger than your losers? Yes. But it also comes down to how you manage the trade and how you take your profits. And if you do what most people are doing, or take a small profit to guarantee, and you have large losses, then you won't win the game. I'm just telling you, as I said, I'll repeat it again, I'm just telling you a simple entry signal. But statistically, if you could create something around that entry signal, you would make a vast sum of money. And that is a very, very simple entry signal. But remember what I said, entry signals, all right, are about as important to trading success as chat-up lines are to getting and keeping a great girlfriend. Now, do you need a high probability? Is it good to have a high probability entry system to enhance your system? Yeah, sure, that can help. But there's been also done many studies which have shown that you could have a random entry with defined money management, stops, profit taking, trade management, etc., and the system still made money. So this is just one small element. Your stops are more important than your entry. How you manage the trade is more important, and how you take profits is a lot more important. Okay, so I'm just giving you a simple entry signal. Okay, and go back. I recommend you please go back, test it, go back and have a look at it. Does it mean it's going to work on this next common trade? No, it doesn't. Trading is a probabilities game. It's not technical analysis here. It's not designed to tell you what it's going to do next. It's designed to put the odds on your side over a series of trades. So whether if you take this trade or not, which I'm not endorsing it, I'm not telling you to do it, I want you to understand. But if you do understand, if it doesn't work on this trade, you need to understand that over a series of trades and how you develop rules around it. And if you think in blocks of 20, you can win the game. Okay? But most people have got, unfortunately, in their mind, myths in their head about trading and how this game is supposed to work and what you're supposed to do in order to build wealth. So I'm going to talk about, here are the 7 myths about trading and wealth building success. Because most people have going around their head some false things. And the reason being is because most people don't have mentors in their life. People don't seek out super successful. Most people, 95 to 98% of people lead what you class as you would deem to be an ordinary life. Let's look at the 7 areas of life. Most people haven't got a PhD in something and they've expanded their mind to the greatest capacity or tested their mental capabilities. Most people have a job and don't have their own sort of business. Most people aren't spiritual leaders. Most people don't own or have millions and passive income streams or money working for them. They go for work. And most people just have like a relationship but they're not very good at relating and have the top quality, phenomenal, enhanced relationship and taking it to the next level all the time. Most people don't have the social massive leaders in society, like you have Oprah and you have people like that. They're able to influence vast numbers of people, and most people don't look after their body and like physique stars. So most people, those are the 1 to 5% maximum who live in that. Most people lead an ordinary life, and the reason is because they don't seek out mentors, and they rely on people very much like themselves, and that's where they are. That's why they are where they are. But it does require you to go outside your comfort circle, because who you hang out with is who you become. And that is why people have these false myths about trading and investing and building wealth. So what we want to do here is we want to bust some of these myths for you so that you realize some of the things that are going around your mind aren't necessarily true. So here's a myth. You can work out how to trade from books and seminars. Now, most people think if I go to a seminar or if I read lots of books, they're going to learn how to trade and succeed, right? That is not true. And I want you to think about trading and investing is a performance activity. Now, you think about anybody who's a performer, they seek the guidance and the mentorship or the coaching of somebody that's been there before them. You need to see somebody do it. And by seeing somebody do it, or somebody who's coached others to do it, you will shortcut. You will achieve your goals a lot faster. You'll be there forever trying to work things out if you try and just do it this way. Because your beliefs that are going around your head about what's possible, what's not, you need to be in a circle of people achieving the results that you want. When I set up an entertainment business, the reason I was able to do it was because I worked in that environment for, I'd say, about 8 years of my life. I'd seen it done. So when I started this business, the entertainment business that I used to own, somebody says, how on earth have you got that to be that successful in only 3 months? And it's because I had 8 years of seeing it, watching it, modeling it, asking questions, working out how they did it. Reading books and attending seminars can only take you to so far. I mean, having studied neuro-linguistic programming with and taught with the guys who invented it, versus if I studied it in a book, I can tell you now, if I only read it in a book, I'd only be able to take my skill levels to so far. But having worked in it, saw it, and then being in that environment is a completely different game. So you're not going to learn how to master this game from just attending seminars and books. If you read Jack Schwager's books, you'll see that in his books that the best traders and investors all had mentors. They had somebody coaching them. They all worked under somebody. Okay, so that is what it takes. Myth 2: you can learn how to trade in a short amount of time. No, you cannot. Okay, and I know some of you are going to probably lose favor with some of you, thinking, "Oh no, I want to be able to do this in a week or a month, and why are you telling me this? I want to get rich quick." That mindset, get rich quick, is your worst enemy. Your worst enemy. You cannot become a successful doctor. So it's like someone saying, but surely I can become a successful doctor in a short amount of time. Surely I can achieve this in a short amount of time. It requires education. It requires time. It requires hours, probably like honing that skill in order to get to the level, in order to be. You are playing a game against the best of the best of the best of the best. The reason why the rewards are so disproportionate is because there's so many losers and so few winners. And what the winners are prepared to do and the losers are prepared to do are two different things. So if you're looking at this game thinking massive money can be won, you need to do what the people that are doing who are succeeding at it and gaining the massive sums of money. Now, they don't have a get-rich-quick mentality, but the most retailers do. So you need to be able to think long-term. 2 marshmallows, not 1, okay? Market prediction is the key to successful trading. No, it's not. Okay, and I'll tell you this. Because you don't have to know what's going to happen next in order to make a vast sum of money in this. All you need is a system which is a positive expectancy. If you're thinking in terms of blocks of 20, and you just go, well, what's going to happen next? You don't know. You're thinking that your setup has happened and you're going to take it. You have no idea if it's going to, you get people say, oh, it's going to bounce off this, it's going to hit this, it's going to go to, that is not required in the slightest to succeed. You are better off thinking, I don't know, this is my signal, I take it, like somebody who's drilling for oil. They don't know exactly where it is, they just know it's around there, and as long as they keep doing the same thing predictably, they will win the game overall. Predicting markets is not essential or necessary or a key skill or requirement in order to beat the game. Okay? Trying to learn how to predict the markets leads to losing monies. Money, rather. Okay. You can buy bottoms and you can sell tops successfully and consistently. Right. So that's like your bottom fishers and your trying to get the tail. And I've spoke about this many times. So the people that make the most money in this game, some of the vast sums of money, are trend followers. And in order for them to make that large sum of money, here's what they do. They go for the meat in the middle. They wait until there's a defined trend. Therefore, the bottom has already started if they're going long. And they need it to confirm, yeah, we're in an uptrend, and then they go. And then they might have some trading stop by average true range or whatever. And therefore, when it comes down and stops them out, it's not at the top. And vice versa. I highly recommend you read a book called Trend Following. A brilliant book, and you'll see how these people made a vast sum of money. It is nothing. They're the people that make millions and billions in the market. Go and read that book, okay? You can catch every move. No, you cannot. And the reason being is because you create your system, which has an edge. right? Let's say you create 10 edges, or 10 systems, but how many possible systems are there in the market? All you're doing is you're waiting for your edge, not somebody else's edge. Your edge will recognize your opportunity, and there'll be a time when the market moves which does not align with your edge. You win the game by, as I said, you're out the market 80, 85, 80, 95% of the time, waiting for your pattern, waiting for your signal that you take, which you know the odds are in your favor. One of the best videos I ever saw was a woman that was now I think I've said this to you before. She was a broker, and she said she saw the people that won and the people that lost, and she said most people lost money because they had small stops and they overtraded. So when she decided to trade, she said, I'm just going to do the complete opposite of what everybody else did. So she was doing a form of day trading. She took very infrequent number of trades, and she had a large stop. And when somebody went to go and see her, they says, how can you not taking trades? The market had a crazy day today. And she says, my setup never happened. And he says, well, my setup never happened. And she drilled in his head, you don't have to take every move. You just have to wait for your setup, your edge, your probabilities. Okay? So, number 6, trading requires you to sit in front of your computer all day long. Oh, right, now. And we know that's not true because we've discussed from this whole series that some of the biggest sums of money, from Nicholas Darvas to Jesse Stein to Jesse Livermore, etc., many of the turtles they were hardly ever in front of their computers. But people somehow get seduced into thinking they need to day trade to make a load of money. No, you don't. Trading and vast wealth can be made without even sitting in front of your computer. You could be there for 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes a day. And that's what some of the biggest wealth builders have done. Once you have a proven system, money management strategy, business plan, and discipline, because people go, I just want to have discipline. Right? Give me discipline and patience, and then this system and the money management, I'll make a load of money. People believe it will transform their wealth. You think, I'm going to get ahead financially. I'm going to be able to make all the money I need once I've got that. So, I want to go over this point in a lot more detail for you, okay? Understand this. 95 to 97% of people that have a winning system and a plan and everything they need fail at trading and investing because they cannot get themselves to do the things that they have to do to win. The single greatest factor that stops them from winning is their psychology. But isn't discipline, Patrick, and patience part of their psychology? I'm talking about something much deeper than that. Something much deeper than that. And as I said, this graph is going to make you rich. Now, I want you to understand this. I'm going to explain how your identity, how you see yourself, your roles. For example, I hear people say, I'm just a mum. I'm just a mum. Or I'm a trader. Or some people describe themselves as poor people, or broke, or struggling, or I'm an investor, or whatever labels they call themselves. I know people are doing trading and investing, but they don't class it. If someone says to them, what do you do? And at a social party, but they're losing money, they don't describe themselves as traders. Right? They'll describe themselves how they really see themselves. And they'll probably call themselves a trader if they win that week. But how they really see themselves at a social function, it'll come out. So there's an identity that is aligned with a set of behaviors, as you can see there. Now, your behaviors are associated with your identity. You don't do anything that's not aligned with your identity. You do not get what you want in this world. You only get more of who you are. And you will act consistently with how you perceive yourself. The behaviors are aligned with the identity. And as a result of these behaviors, we get a result, i.e., the mean net wealth in the US, for example. Let's imagine there's a set of behaviors that produces $100,000 debt. For you to do something like 1 standard deviation, 2 standard behaviors further out there, you're going to revert back to the mean. You're going to revert to these behaviors here. The average net worth in the US is 100,000 at the mean. That's not the mode. This is the mean. You got more people much lower than that. So the average is 100,000 net worth, 1,300 income per month. Now, in order for them to do that, they'll have a set of behaviors. But that behaviors that they're doing is aligned with their identity. Does that make sense? Your behaviors you are a byproduct of your identity. And that is why you have the result that you have today financially. Let's take someone that's worth $1 million net worth and they get 10,000 per month income. Now, people think if I want that, I have to do. Now, listen, please understand. You are doing things aligned with your identity and nothing more, nothing less. You are doing a range of behaviors. Most of your behaviors will be in there. You'll have one or two things outside of that, but generally you are acting according with your identity, and that is giving your results that you have today. Your identity, how you see yourself in your unconscious mind, is creating what you're doing consistently, particularly around money or anything in a relationship, in your life, in studying and whatever, right? Your identity is creating your behaviors, and those behaviors are creating the results that you live. So, which is why research has shown that most lottery winners eventually return back to their original financial state, because how they see themselves in their mind is determining what they actually do. So you give them some external thing, i.e. in this case lottery winnings, they'll remain consistent with the behaviors aligned with that identity. You give them the money and they revert back, which is why these studies have shown that people within a short amount of years, they end up bankrupt, or 70% of them end up, people that come into a large sum of money end up broke within 7 years because of the behaviors that are consistent with their identity. And people think, oh, if you just give me the money, I'll change my life, I won't do it, I'll be different. You have no choice. Your unconscious mind is leading you to do this because it's aligned with who you believe you are. Your brain doesn't want to make you a liar. Your brain wants you to be consistent, because if it didn't, you wouldn't know whether the sky was light or dark. You'd be thinking about whether you're coming or going. You're acting consistently with it, which is why these are several examples of people that won 10 million and now they're just part-time job in order to support their kids. 10 million people go, you give me 10 million, I won't do it. I'd go and invest it and save it. Let me tell you right now, if I give you 10 million right now, you are statistically likely to come back to where you are right now. That is a scary thought, but what I'm telling you is something to empower you, so that you're not one of these 70% of people that actually revert back. This person won $16 million, right? And now they're living on $450 a month on food stamps. And in fact, look at this, 16 million, and but in 1 year was in debt, 1 million in debt within a year. This person gambled it away. We have this person won 114 million, right? 4 years, fortune gone. 114 million, and in 4 years. Please understand, I know there's many of you out there watching this thinking, yeah, but that wouldn't happen to me. I wouldn't do that. I'd be different with it. You are in the situation that you are in right now today financially because of your identity. You're going to end up back there unless you change your perception of yourself, your identity. Your identity is creating your behaviors, and your behaviors are creating your results. Change the identity, you change the behaviors. You change the behaviors, you change the results. But people think, I'm going to do these things, but you won't be able to do them consistently because it's not aligned with your identity. Does that make sense, everybody? 18 million, gave it all away. Filed for bankruptcy not long after. In the UK, this person won 2.76 million, and then, how long did this take for them? Marriage, fire breaks out, gutted the house, every penny gone, okay? Statistically, right, that is why I'm saying to you, your identity is creating your behaviors, and your behavior creates your net worth. Give them the money, and they will revert unconsciously, sabotage themselves, or remain consistent to be aligned with that identity, which gives them the result, which takes between 1 and 7 years, as we've seen. So what most people are doing is they're thinking, I want the gold, I want to trade and invest to replace my income, or I want to become a millionaire, okay? For most people in this game, they're trading because they want an income, because income represents cash, and cash represents lifestyle. I know many people who have said, why don't you sell that property, and then you can buy that car, or this, and I'm thinking, why would I possibly do that? Because they want the lifestyle, and that is why most people are in here. They want the money for the lifestyle, etc. So they think, if I have to have that, I have to do that, which may be trading and investing. And then they think, I will be. So if I have £1 million and 10,000 per month cash flow, I would have to do some trading and investing, and then I'd be a millionaire trader, right? However, you're not doing that. You won't be consistent with the actions in order to do it. This is why the number one problem is people having the problem getting themselves to do the things that they need to do in order to produce the income that they need to produce and get the results that they desire. It is the formula for success, and I'll say it again, and I keep belaboring this point, but I want you to get this. It is be. Who do you need to be / role? What do you need to do? What is aligned? What would you be doing that is aligned with that identity, which gives you what you have? Does that make sense? So when you think about this, right? You think about your current financial situation. How do you currently label yourself regarding money right now? How do you label yourself? Some people class themselves as, I'm a broke person, I'm a self-saboteur, I'm rich, I'm a whatever. Now, understand, a millionaire, as close as it sounds like an identity, is not. It is a result. It is a result. A result is what you have, okay? Because an identity is a role that you play. You can't say, oh, that person's a mom. And what does a millionaire do? There's so many things in which a millionaire could do to achieve that money. So who are you? Your role, your identity. That identity creates your. So I'll ask you, what are you doing that is a reflection of your identity right now? What are your behaviors? List them all. What are you doing as a reflection of your identity? And then look how that is producing the results that you have today. And as I said, breaking news, you're only doing actions and behaviors that align with your current unconscious perception of yourself. That is why you're where you are right now financially. So here is what most people are doing realistically: in debt. Those people are in debt to 100,000. That is the majority of people. Okay. Here's what they're doing: they spend more than their income. They're following the herd, listening to the media for tips and inside scoop. They're paying themselves last, if not at all. And most people have heard the concept of pay yourself first. But they're not. They're paying themselves last. They go, I'm saving the money to buy a garage. I'm saving the money to buy a big television. I'm saving the money to buy a house. And so, who is getting the money? You eventually are giving it to somebody else. And you're saving the money to pay for my children's education. Now, I'm not saying that's not important. What I'm saying is paying yourself first is you keep the money. Okay? You keep the money. You buy assets with it. Most people aren't doing that. Most people are paying themselves loss, or not at all. They're just spending it. They're spending with zero budget or guidelines. Oh, budget, Patrick, you know, that's just horrible. Okay, but this is what most people are doing to get them in that situation. These are the behaviors. But there will be an identity that is aligned with this to make them do these things. They no financial short-term, mid-term, or long-term plan. They're hanging out with financial non-achievers. They're trading without a proven system and plan. Zero financial mentors to speak to, watch or ask questions. Borrowing money to live. Thinking about cars and house and lifestyle. So here's what happens. As soon as you give this person money, what happens to it? It goes on cars and house and lifestyle. They have no defined life and no defining of life and time, not defining how they want their life and their mission for it, and mastering their time. They're thinking short-term, instant gratification, get rich quick. Okay? That mindset is probably one of the key things what has messed up most people. Now, here is part 2 I'm going to ask you to recommend you today. Think to yourself about your ideal financial situation. Think to yourself, how would you describe yourself? What would your role be in society? What would your role be? Who would you be if that was your identity in your ideal financial situation? Then think, if that was your role, that was your identity, what would you be doing that is a reflection of that identity that you knew it was true? And then ask yourself this: what would you have as a result of these behaviors that are consistent and a reflection of your identity? Let me give you an example, okay? Let's take someone worth 10 million to 50 million. How would they describe themselves? They might see themselves as, and those are the key words, see themselves, right? They might see themselves in their mind, on an unconscious level, as money and asset managers. They might see themselves as property entrepreneurs. They might see themselves as a business owner or a financier or a venture capitalist or an industrialist, etc., right? So I ask you this. What would this person be doing that is a reflection of this identity on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis? They'll be doing the following things. Managing and running a growing business. Meeting with mentors who show them how to grow their wealth. They'll be finding other investment experts to create a winning team. They'll be networking with other rich people. They'll be assessing, calculating, and managing risk. They'll be getting up early and planning their day. Many of these habits are listed. You can find these on the internet. The behaviors of some of the most richest, most successful people in the world. Okay, but I'm just telling you how these are linked to their identity, how they see themselves. They'll be managing their money and their asset allocation. They'll be meeting with accountants, lawyers, bookkeepers, and advisors. They'll be refining their mission and their life, reviewing their performance on a daily, weekly, monthly, and yearly basis. The business and investment and life goal setting. Studying wealth, business, and marketing. Growing wealth and passive income streams. Growing income to create more investment income. Thinking long-term, 10+ years, whereas most people are thinking, I want the money now. This long-term thinking grows wealth. Short-term, instant gratification makes people poor. So by thinking in that way and delaying the gratification, the 2 marshmallows, and pursuing a mission and a life course, those behaviors produce that result. So I'll say it to you again. What you need to do is list, think about your ideal financial situation. List who would you be? What would your role be? What would your identity be? Then think to yourself, what would you be doing that is a reflection of this identity? And then think about what result would you have if you did those things on a consistent basis. Now, how do you get this into your unconscious mind? I'll give you a very simple version of this. And if you read the book Psycho-Cybernetics, which is a great book that will help you to enhance this, you need to see yourself as that person, step into it, and imagine yourself doing those actions that you have just listed on a consistent basis. Imagine, mentally rehearse from your mind's eye doing that and being that person and achieving that result. And then do that for 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes midday, 5 minutes before you go to your bed. So you're stepping into it, you're seeing it from that perspective, and then you imagine yourself doing those things. So you're creating neurological connections, you're engaging your unconscious mind, you're reprogramming your mind, and then imagine getting that result. And keep seeing yourself as that person, stepping into that person. See yourself as that person, so you see yourself doing those behaviors, then step into it. Imagine yourself doing those behaviors. You will transform your life by doing that simple exercise. Stepping into that identity and imagine it and mentally rehearsing it. It is the same thing what you'll find all peak performers doing. You don't get someone in golf just hitting the club. They mentally rehearse what they're going to do again and again and again and again, and then they increase the probabilities of them doing it. You do this in all sports, in all performances, top salesmen, top leaders, top public speakers, okay? So mentally rehearse this again and again and again. So you're activating your neurology. Mentally rehearse it. See yourself as it. I'll say it again. See yourself as that person. Make it a big, bright, bold, colorful picture. Bring it even closer. Make it more vivid. Make it a movie, right? And then step into that and imagine doing all those things. And then rehearsing that. And then what I want you to do is walk around every single day as if you were that person and do those things. You will transform your life. I'll tell you this now. I wasn't planning to say this, but I'll tell you this now, right? I remember doing this when I first started day trading. I was doing mostly options, longer term stuff. And I wanted to learn how to day trade. And I was learning to day trade with 3 other people. We had mentors teaching us this. And we were trading the bond market. And I said, right, okay. I used to mentally rehearse doing the signals. I used to mentally rehearse the setup, the entry, the signal, the managing, the profit taking, everything, the whole lot, getting up, my contingency planning, everything, right? And I used to imagine myself trading 100, then 200, then 400, then 800, then 1,000 contracts, 2,000 contracts, etc. And the people that said, why are you doing that? You're being greedy. And I thought, uh-oh, I best not talk to these people anymore. Okay? Now, I said, well, do you not mentally rehearse doing this? This is sort of, because I've heard you talk about it. And I said, how many contracts do you imagine we're doing this with? 1. And then it says, how many are you doing? 1,000 bond contracts. Okay? Why are you doing that? because that's what I'm going to do. And I mentally rehearsed doing it again and again, and I saw myself managing money, trading thousands of contracts, 1,000 contracts, 2,000, 5,000, whatever. Within 1 year, they were trading one contract, and I was trading vast numbers running a fund, a bond fund. That is the power of what I've just told you to transform your life. Okay, so I saw myself as a hedge fund manager, an owner of a private fund, a syndicate. I then thought, what would I be doing? What would I be doing on a daily basis? I mentally rehearsed it. I mentally saw myself doing it and then stepped into it. Imagine doing it again and again. And the results turned up. And that's what I'm telling you to do. Okay? So, let me go through some of the do's and don'ts to achieving your income and your wealth goals. The don'ts first. Do not try to get rich quick. You'll end up getting poor quick. This is the fastest way to lose all your money. Do not spend more than your income. Do not spend your income without having a budget. Do not pay yourself last or not at all. Do not spend most of your time with financial non-achievers. Now, people say, oh, that's a bit horrible. You're telling me to just get rid of my friends. No, I'm saying have a peer group, right? Spend more time with people that you want to be like, because you're going to become the average of those that you spend most of your time with. Do not discuss money, and this is related to it, and you've probably experienced this. Do not discuss money and building wealth with people that do not have a value on money and building wealth. They will install negative beliefs and feelings in you regarding money and rich people. Understand, you do not do what you think about money, you do how you feel about money. You do not do with what you think about money, you do what you feel about money. Your feelings will determine your actions, and your actions will determine your results. And most people's feelings are a byproduct of what they saw about money growing up, what they heard about money, and what they experienced around money is affecting their feelings. Do not trade without a proven, tested system and plan. Do not borrow to live. It makes it harder to get ahead. Do not short-term trade to pay your bills if you have no income. It is hard enough to succeed without the pressure of, I have to make money to pay the bills. That mindset will mess up your financial trading and investing, because you have to take the trade. You end up taking any opportunity and every opportunity. The market's moving without me. That could have paid my bills. And then you end up not being a successful trader investor. Create the income first. If you're going to day trade, make sure you've got an income stream coming in, so you don't have to take every opportunity, right? Do not try and create multiple streams. I've seen so many people make this mistake. Do not try and create multiple income streams till you have one fully functioning. You've got multiple income streams. You see, now the thing is, multiple income streams are a great idea, but only after you've got the first one working and systematized. Now for the do's. The do's to achieving your income and wealth goals. You need to create a reliable income to fund your investments. Be that a job, be that being self-employed, be that a business. Get that sorted first as you're learning how to do this game. Second, get a mentor to show you how to grow wealth. And we've discussed that. You need people to show you, to shortcut, to show you the steps that you need to take. Get a mentor, be in the environment, learn how to do it successfully. You need to create a team of investment experts and meet them at least once a month. Remember I said who you hang out with is who you become. Meet them at least once a month. Network with other rich people. Create a budget, a money management and an asset allocation plan. Get an accountant, a lawyer, a bookkeeper, an estate attorney, an asset allocation, and asset protection experts. You want to create a life mission. That means you... Now, listen, the bigger the reason, the bigger the wealth. If your reason to create wealth is to feed your family and have a certain lifestyle, versus do something for your community, versus do something for your city, versus do something for your country, versus do something like the whole of the United Nations, versus do something for the world. The bigger the reason, the bigger the wealth. Most people are struggling because of this guy. I want some money, I want to make some money to pay for my bills. And that makes it, that reason is such a small reason for most people. It's not big enough reason for them to do what they need to do in order to create the wealth and the income that they desire. You need to review your performance on a daily, weekly, monthly, yearly basis. You need to set goals, set like after your life goals and 10 years. These are the behaviors of successful people that make money. So I'm telling you to do these things. Set legacy goals, like beyond your life, where you want to be in 10 years, 5 years, 1 year, and daily goals, setting goals. So many studies have shown, from the Harvard study to everything, that people that set goals and write them down succeed a lot more than people that don't. Study wealth from proven wealth builders. Focus on capital gains and passive income streams. So many people come to trading and they think they're going to trade their way to financial freedom just purely by capital gains. The whole point of the capital gain is to pour it into assets that give you a passive income, so that you have money working for you rather than you working for money. And finally, think long-term, delayed gratification. Wealth is a game of patience. So, I trust this series has inspired you and served you and made you realize the actual possibilities and truly literally shown you some key insights and a new way of looking at achieving your financial goals. Because for you, the individual trader, history has consistently demonstrated that the biggest sums of wealth, the easiest sums of wealth in financial trading and investing, and why institutions love to make their trading decisions based on this, are based on end of day, monthly and weekly charts. So please post your comments below. Please get engaged in our community and follow what we're doing, as a lot of our members have completely transformed their financial life by simply applying the principles we're teaching here in Sunday Insiders. Think of what is the one big idea that you can get from this session, and think about, how can I apply this to help transform my financial life? Because you see, the benefit of doing that is that one idea could possibly save you years of frustration. So I would like to provide you even more value by letting you know that membership to the Sunday Insiders program will be opening up soon. You see, Sunday Insiders is our monthly advanced membership training where we go way deeper in depth, showing you information like this, but a lot more, literally step by step, showing you things like a powerful swing and trend trading system to capture the market's biggest moves so that you can consistently grow your wealth and income. In the Sunday Insiders membership program, we show you how to create cash flow from each of the 4 asset classes like property, paper, business and commodities. We show you the millionaire money management strategies designed to help you to achieve your financial goals. We show you how to create a trading business plan that empowers you to know what to do and when to do it, no matter what the market is doing. And you'll learn the key trading and money psychology insights, the essence, the key, the thing that enables you to do this consistently, that separates you from the 99%, this psychology to program your subconscious mind so that you can execute all your trades with patience and discipline and confidence, thus enabling you to consistently grow your wealth and income. You see, Sunday Insiders membership is designed to give you all the tools, all the strategies to win the money and trading game, so that you can start living life on your terms, to do what truly fulfills you most in life. You don't have to live a life around a computer, and the Sunday Insiders membership program shows you exactly how to do that. How you can make the largest sums of money from the financial markets and still live your life based on what's truly most important to you, but giving you the strategies, giving you the psychology, giving you the systems, giving you the plans that enable you to do that. So please watch out for that announcement, because every time we open up membership, they sell out like that. Why? There is nowhere else selling this complete package, because quite honestly, you simply cannot get this training anywhere else in the world. In fact, with countless Sunday Insider students becoming consistently profitable, this is perhaps one of the #1 training of its kind in the world. So I hope to speak to you soon when you become a member and realize it'll be an honor to serve you and to help you achieve your financial goals. Look out for that email. Till then, get interested in your financial future by taking stock today, as you're going to be spending the rest of your life there. Bye for now.